Hey everyone, it's Ashley and Penelope from the CoEdition team. I'm going to let everyone be able to get on for a few minutes. We have Jamie Finkenthal waving. Hello. I'm so excited you guys are here. I have not done a live like this for months. I think the last time we sat down and actually just had a conversation with you was back at the beginning of the pandemic, back in April. So I'm so excited to be chatting with you all today. We are starting a new segment called On the Plus Side. And today we are talking about diet culture, how we can combat that this time of year, and what other more positive New Year's goals that we can have. So, hi Sophie, hello. Hi everyone. Penelope is pretty tired. I also have a theory that whenever she gets in front of a camera or she knows that there is a camera in front of her, she closes her eyes because she is camera shy. But without further ado, I want to bring on my guest, I suppose is what I would call her, to join the conversation. Her name is Jamie Finkenthal. She is also a part of the CoEdition team, and we love her so much. So, let's see if we can get Jamie on here. I appreciate y'all's patience. Okay, here we go. There she is.
Hello. I'm going to move you back.
Welcome, welcome. I'm doing very well. How are you?
Good. Look at Penelope.
The last time I had makeup and got ready was when we did our live last week, and I've literally been a slug ever since then. But you know what? It's okay.
You're living your best life.
Living my life. I am wearing Curvy Sense, and it's a two-piece, and I freaking love this set. So
it's so cute.
If you're wearing sweats, if you have like a cute two-piece set that matches, it just like automatically like ups your style game and it makes you feel better. So
for sure.
I mean, hello Jamie. I'm so excited here. I think people kind of know about me. I've been around for a while, but tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes. I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio. I'm super close with my family. I moved to Chicago to go to school there for musical theater, and that's where I met Ashley.
Yeah.
Yes. And I
both went for musical theater.
Yes. And we got our BFA in musical theater.
Correct.
And then I did theater professionally for years, and then I moved to Minneapolis, where you were for a while and where your family is.
Yeah.
And we both worked for the same network, and then we kind of reconnected again. So that was really awesome.
So you're a plus size model.
Yes.
Yes, that's incredible. I love that. Thank you so much for introducing yourself. Again, so Jamie and I are going to be talking about how we can combat diet culture this time of year because, as I'm sure all of you can tell, it is a lot around the January, February month. Before we get started, I do want to put out a trigger warning for anyone who is sensitive or has any sensitivity around weight loss or diet culture topics. I want to be sensitive to that. So just putting that out there, we will be talking about those things, but definitely going to be staying positive. And I think that you guys will all get something really great out of this message,
for sure.
Out of this conversation. Penelope is saying goodbye. Okay, so what is diet culture? I mean, we all kind of like know, but I honestly today, like when I was thinking about this conversation, I was like, do I actually have a definition of this? Because it's like I know what it is, but ever really like said it out to me. So this is what I found on the internet, in the World Wide Web.
Okay.
Okay. Diet culture is a set of beliefs revolving around the idea that thin bodies are the most desirable, valuable, and healthy. Diet culture also conveys that eating a certain way is good or bad, and that a person's worth increases their eating healthy or when living in a small body. I think that encompasses it pretty well.
I
But
think so too.
yeah, for sure. And I think that I don't know what it is around like New Year's and why maybe I guess everyone thinks it's a fresh start,
New beginnings.
new beginnings.
They're doing their resolutions, their goals.
Yes. So that is when we're starting to get hit with the ads and the commercial. Like I'm still in Minnesota with my family right now, and so I'm watching cable with my mom, which I don't have cable in New York. And I'm like, every other commercial is a weight loss commercial.
Yes.
And let's also preface this as well is like, if you are someone on a weight loss journey, amazing, more power to you. That's great. I think it's wonderful. I love working out. Working out really helps my mental health. But I think for some it can be really hard, and being surrounded by all of this, right? It's hard, and it can make us feel like we have to change ourselves when in reality we really don't. We really don't.
For sure. I think there are definitely videos that, like, I did see a Weight Watchers commercial recently, and there were different body types, and I was like, okay, great, that's great, but that's not the majority of it. Or I work for a home shopping network, and it's always like flab to abs, like that's the thing, and that's what health is, and that drives me crazy because
Absolutely.
there are so many bodies and so many different types of bodies that are healthy bodies.
Exactly. And I'm so glad that you brought the health into it because, for you, for instance, for you, Jamie, you are a size 18.
Yes.
But you are so like athletically skilled and talented. You're a dancer. You are super flexible. You can do the splits. Like you can sing and dance at the same time. Like to me, that's like you're an athlete. Like you're an actor, you're a dancer.
It takes a lot of energy. Or I worked with a girl who was one of Lizzo's backup dancers.
Oh,
and I know it was really cool. She was beautiful, and all of Lizzo's backup dancers are curvy women. And I was like, this girl must be in the best shape, because how many shows do they do a week? How many rehearsals do they have to go to? Like, those women must be so healthy, in shape. And I thought, like, that's a perfect example.
yes, 100%. So I think that's like one of the things that I find issue with is that they automatically think that because you're a bigger person, because you're plus size, you're unhealthy.
100%.
Everyone's body is different.
Exactly.
It's someone who's a size, who's considered plus size could run a marathon. Like I think Candice Hafeen, one of like the top models, plus size models, she's run a marathon, but I'm pretty sure like, I have a friend who is very, very thin. They would be like, I don't run unless someone's chasing.
I don't do
that. So I can see how that to me, that part is upsetting because because it's not a one size fits all.
For sure.
How has diet culture affected you ever, like around this time of year?
Yeah, it has. So I was thinking about this because I was like, okay, we're going to be talking about this. And I remember about 3 years ago, Beachbody. Do you remember that being a thing? I mean, it's still a thing, but it was like huge. And I remember getting messages like every day from people, because it's kind of like a pyramid scheme, and and so people were trying to make money and do this. And I remember getting messages literally every day, and I started getting so frustrated because I was like, if I get one more message from someone trying to sell me Beachbody,
Yeah.
but it wasn't trying to meet me at like where I wanted to be. And no one ever came at it like, hey, like, you know, we have this community and it's like, you know, we're just a bunch of women trying to like just be our healthiest as we can be. It was always like, are you trying to lose weight? Are you not happy with this or that? And I had one girl who literally it was almost bullying at that point because she just would not stop. And so she asked me actually to fill out a form and just fill out the form. And like, it asked me all these questions about my body. And I just put it in like all these positive things and being like, you know, I love my curves and I'm actually really happy where I'm at right now. And I really genuinely was, you know, and then she never contacted me again about it. So I was like, okay, good. You know, I kind of twisted it around in that sense. But yeah, it was very frustrating for me for a while.
Wow. That is like very powerful because I think that, you know, before body positivity came to the forefront, I think everyone really truly thinks that if you are someone who is plus size or overweight, that you want to change your body. But I think many people nowadays, like who have struggled with eating disorders in the past, they're like, you know what? Like I gave up diet culture and I'm so much happier now.
100%.
I just am like happy that my mental health is good, that the relationship with food is good, that I like love my body and I recognize what it does for me. So it's kind of like combating that because again, not everyone who is bigger wants to change their body size.
Exactly.
Can I personal question?
Yeah, for sure.
Have you been plus size your whole life?
No. So I actually just posted on my Instagram. There was a time where I was like a 6'8", and I don't, you know, and I did not feel my healthiest for my body. It doesn't mean that someone else who's a 6'8" doesn't feel like amazing, but for me and my body, I felt like I wasn't eating enough and I wasn't getting the nutrition that I personally needed. And I think that's the thing. It's like everyone's body is different and you know your own body. You know when you feel good and when you don't, you know? But now I would say my best self as far as health goes is a size 16. That's when I feel like my best because I don't feel like my body is naturally supposed to be a size 6 or 8, you know?
Right.
Not where I'm supposed to be.
Absolutely. And that's a big part of it. I have been plus size my whole life. Like I have never in my adult life been smaller than a 14.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just like the way, like if you look at my family, we all look the same. Like we're all very tall, larger people.
Mm-hmm.
And like if I were to really, really work to get down to smaller than that, like I don't know, like I can't even imagine what I would look like, and like if my body and if my face and whatever would look normal. I'm not really sure.
I know when I look back at pictures when I was that small, I was like, who is that girl? My boyfriend, I showed him the other day. He's like, I like you way better now.
Oh my God, bless his heart. I love that. Love that.
Yeah.
We really love supportive men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, he's always been supportive of curvy women. Like his mom's pretty curvy and so I knew, I was like, oh yes. He always is like, I love your curves and like, so I'm very lucky about that.
He's a keeper.
Yeah.
When you were thinner, did you find diet culture to affect you like more or less than you are as a plus size woman?
I was so like asphyxiated on it, like about like eating healthy. And yeah, I think it was worse, honestly, for me at that size. Because my body isn't naturally supposed to be that size for me personally.
Yeah.
Again, as someone else who's a 6'8", like it might be the perfect size for them. But for me personally, it just wasn't natural.
That makes total sense. I think for some reason it's this year, and I don't know if it's because like we've had like an awful 2020 and we've had a lot of time to reflect and just like think about the current state of things, that I really noticed like people on social media started to post like, hey, like get ready for this, like you're gonna start seeing like a huge influx of these weight loss ads and everything. And I was like, wow, they're so right. Like I don't think I'd ever seen a warning until this year. And I'm like, heck yes, like more power to us for like putting that out there. Because as someone who's been big my whole life, I feel like it's just like a normal thing. And I think that I've gone through phases where I have completely like just dived into that and like let that take over my start of my year. And then like, you know, you make these resolutions, and by the time February or March rolls around, it's like you're so hard on yourself.
You are, and you're so disappointed in yourself. You're like, oh, I couldn't even keep this for a month, or you know.
Right. Exactly. So last year, instead of like doing New Year's resolutions, I decided to just do, I think I wrote down like New Year's intentions. Like these are my intentions for this new year. And I think it was the very first year that I accomplished some things. They had nothing to do with weight loss. And like I feel so much more happy about those ones.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, like I'll be 100% honest with you. I had something about weight loss on there, and like, and it didn't happen. And like, I could totally probably be hard on myself. But then I'm like, what did we just go through? We went through, or we're still going through a pandemic.
Yeah.
You know?
You cannot be hard on yourself, especially with weight loss when we're home all the time and we want a snack or we have nothing to do, not as much to do.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. And like, so because I didn't like achieve my goals, like my body goals or whatever for last year, I kind of like this year at the end of the year, I was like, wow, I could either decide to be like really hard on myself or just be like, you know what? Like you have been healthy this whole year. Your family's been healthy this whole year. Like you have gotten through this. Like you've gotten through so many things. So why don't you just be like, okay, it's okay.
You're okay.
You are still great the way that you are. Like, do not feed into what's happening right now. On the other hand, I'm like, I do really want to get back into like moving my body, because for me, like I suffer from anxiety disorder, and that helps me so much to like move my body and like, you know, be exercising, and it helps me sleep better and like so many things. So I do
Stress reliever for sure.
and
Yes.
for me, like eating healthy also helps me as well, because I have a huge sweet tooth, and so like
Me too.
so out of sugar, I feel like garbage. Like physically, I'm like, oh my God, I feel like terrible. Like I just don't feel well. Like almost like feel like I have like a food hangover or something. So I mean, for me, like we can go into talking about goals, like if we're sort of staying on like how we can navigate through diet culture, but spin it in a more positive way that's not going to have like a negative effect on you if you don't lose the 20 pounds or don't do this or don't do that. Like for me, when it comes to food, how I'm going to think about it is like, I want to drink more water this year. I want to eat the foods that really like make my body feel good and feel healthy and like don't give me like gastrointestinal like troubles, all that kind of stuff. And then I want to like just move my body more because it makes me feel good. You know, I feel like having those kind of goals versus like get down to this measurement, or
I think number goals are the dangerous goals. Do you know what I mean? Even with like calories or with the size you're wearing, I feel like that's when you get into like more dangerous territory. You know,
yeah,
my grandma would always be like, "Oh, it's just a number. It's just a number."
Yeah, 100%. Yes, you totally said it. I was like what am I trying to get at here? You help. What about you? I mean, let's talk about our goals in general. It doesn't have to be in relation to diet culture or body or anything like that. Yeah. I think the more we talk about other goals or intentions that we might have, it like kind of gets me excited and amped up, and like we can cheer each other on, you know? Like, so what are some of the ones that you have?
My main goal, I also suffer from anxiety. So my main goal is to not let that affect me in my success. I always get to like one place in life, like it's, and then my anxiety sets in and like it stops me from success.
Here
And
you
from everything that's going on in the world right now, what I've really learned is that like you can't take a day for granted, you know, like every moment is precious. Go for what you want and don't let anything hold you back. So that's a really big goal for me, just to not let anxiety and nerves get in the way. So don't get in the way of myself, you know?
Oh my gosh, I love
Yeah.
that. Definitely feel like I suffer from some of that too, like holding myself back. And last year I finally like pushed through some things that I was like not doing because I just was scared to face like um maybe some like someone saying no, you know, but then I just did it and something amazing happened. I was signed to a modeling agency and I'm like, well, if I would have continued to be scared, I would have never happened. So that's
Exactly.
such a good goal to
Like
have.
putting yourself in those uncomfortable positions, good
Mhm.
uncomfortable positions,
Yeah,
but like that make you grow as a person, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. One of so last year, one of the goals that or one of the intentions that I succeeded at was that I read 12 books, which
Ashley, I'm impressed.
some people who are readers might think like, oh my gosh, that's nothing. Like I follow some people on Instagram that read like 50 to 100 books a year, and I'm like, oh
I know
my,
those people really impress me. I'm like, how? Like,
yes.
you are amazing.
And so I was like, okay, I'm going to stick to something realistic, one book a month. So I did it. I read 12 books. And obviously, like I had a little bit more time because of coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I really loved it because it also helped me with other aspects of my life. Like, I'm such a doom scroller. Like, at night, I'll be in bed and I'll be scrolling on my phone. And the next thing I know, I'm like, it's 2 hours later. And I'm like, oh my God, what have I done? So reading at bed time versus being on my phone was a huge game changer for me. Um, I was able to like fall asleep a lot faster and I just got better quality sleep. So this year I'm shooting for 16.
Yes, I know you can do it.
I hope, fingers crossed. I hope so.
But it
And
is really hard to take that. That's almost you time and like self care, taking that time to read, because it's like blocking everything else in your life off and like getting off social media and your phone and like disconnecting and being like, okay, I'm just going to focus on something that I enjoy, you know, and it's just me and the book, you
yeah,
know?
and like initially, it's funny because whenever I do like my New Year's intention or goals, I come in like really hard. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna read 1 hour a day, and I'm like, I can do that just because like some days like that just is like a lot. So I made it a little bit more vague and just said 16 books this year. I think I should be able to achieve it. Um, Another person is saying doom scroller.
Uh-huh. 100%.
And the worst one for me is TikTok.
You
I
just could go on for hours. Just
I
like,
don't go on TikTok very much, but when I do, it's like I end up in a black hole and it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm like, what's happening? So I have to stay away from TikTok. I have to. It's so entertaining. It's so entertaining to me. Like I just love dumb, funny stuff that makes me giggle.
some of the videos, they are something, I'll tell you.
Oh, I know. Okay, so any other ones that you have?
Yes. I would say another one is like cherish every little thing even more. Like I haven't seen my parents in my family in a while. Like I live in Minneapolis, they live in Ohio. So just like cherish like those times that I do get to see them and just the little things because like there's been so much that's gone on this year. I just think that every little thing, like food on your table that night, or, you know, being in a warm apartment, just really being thankful and trying to help those. I know this sounds corny, but like trying to go and help those that aren't as fortunate, you know?
Yeah. Oh my God,
And
that's a good
the
one.
best way to feel better about yourself too, if you're having kind of like a gloomy time during all of this, is to help other people. I find that like, if I do that, I'm such a happier person, not selfishly speaking, but you know, it does help me in my life too. Just seeing people be happy because you helped them, you know? So like this summer, we went and helped out at this church that needed help with like giving people food and stuff like that. We did that a lot. And I just felt so good and happy, you know? So yeah.
Absolutely. That is such a good one. You have a fellow Ohioan. Is that what you guys call yourselves? The Cleared
Check
Spec.
this out. Hello.
Shout out to Ohio.
What part?
And
Yes, Ohio.
Tiny Chalk Sugar 007 says family love is everything, and I 100% agree. One of the greatest things about 2020 was that I did leave New York for about 5 months. When I thought I was only going to be gone for 1 month, and I stayed with my family for 5 months during the summer. And as hard as some parts were, just to be away from New York, like when everything terrible was happening, I just felt like so hopeless and like away from my friends and stuff like that. I would have never ever gotten that time with them ever. You know what I mean? Like
when else would that have happened?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was a blessing in disguise for me. Amanda says Columbus, originally North Ohio.
I love Columbus. It's so cute.
Where are you in Ohio?
Cleveland, a suburb of Cleveland, Ohio, so Solon, Ohio. But yeah.
I've been to Ohio a couple times.
Yeah, it's a great place to raise a family, and I really enjoyed my childhood there. So yeah, I can't complain.
Yeah. I think the Midwest takes the cake for childhoods. I loved growing up. I love my childhood. It was super fun.
Yeah, and you're North Dakota, right? Originally from North Dakota. Yeah.
Yeah, North Dakota.
I don't think I've ever been. It's cold there though.
There's nothing there. I mean, the west side is like the Badlands, but I grew up on the east side, and it's super flat prairie land, really nothing there. But that was like a really fun thing when I moved to New York. When I told people where I was from, they're like, wow, you're the first person I've ever met from North Dakota. I'm like, yes. Okay, anyway, back to the topic. Two Midwestern gals get on something, we could probably talk forever.
Hours.
So going back to diet culture and everything that we are that's getting thrown at us right now, like on TV and social media and the news, and I mean, I'm sure people even are getting stuff in the mail. How can we, if you are a person that's like, I am good with my body, I love the way that I am, I don't want this garbage, what can they do to sort of keep that out of their radar?
I think a lot of kind of what you were saying, like I don't know, who you follow on social media and who your friends list is a big portion of it too. Sure. Like if I'm following a bunch of companies that only represent one type of woman, then it's not healthy for me. I need to see companies that have everyone, you know, that are representing all shapes and sizes, ethnicities. I need everyone. Otherwise it's just not healthy. As I'm scrolling, I much rather see diversity than just the same person, you know, and what, yeah.
Yes, definitely. Social media is one of the things that we have 100% control over. Mm-hmm. So if there are people that you're following that do not bring you joy, do not inspire you, if they make you feel like you're in that constant state of comparing yourself, which is one of the hardest things on social media, there's no problem unfollowing or blocking or whatever you need to do to protect yourself, your heart, and your mind, because that is what is most important.
Yes, 100%. So I think that's one way of like kind of being like, okay, because we're on social media so much. So
Yeah, for sure. I had seen this, I don't remember if it was like a video. I think it was a video, or maybe it was an article. I read an article about this woman, and she decided that she wanted to love her body. And she was in a spot in her life where she didn't really feel like she had a lot of love for it. So every day she forced herself to get up and look in front of the mirror. And I was an article because she talked about how silly she felt. And she was like, I felt completely ridiculous. But she would get up and she would say things that she liked about herself. And at first she was like, it was so difficult. I had a very hard time finding things to say about my physical body. So sometimes she would say things like, I like my sense of humor. I like that I'm patient. I like, I don't even know, but like things like that. And then it finally turned into, I like my lungs because they help me breathe, or I like my legs because they help me walk. And then it would be like, and then she finally got to a point where she was like, I like my tummy because I think it's super cute, or I like I don't know, my hands because I think they're really beautiful, you know? And I think it was like a 6-month process. And at the end of it, she was completely transformed. She had so much confidence. And she was like, I really struggled. I thought it was so silly and dumb. She's like, but I kept at it. It took me maybe 15 seconds a day to do this. And it was transforming. And so maybe if someone is seeing these ads and these, you know, this diet culture stuff, maybe they can take a second, and if it is greatly affecting them, because I'm sure it does. I'm fortunate enough to never have dealt with an eating disorder in my life, but I know a lot of people and have a lot of friends who have, that I know this stuff can be super triggering to them. And so maybe if that's you, you can just sort of take a step back if it's affecting you, and just say, I love the way that I am now. I do not need to change. I am worthy as I am.
mm-hmm.
So for me, I feel like give that a try and see if that helps. And also know that what is happening right now in the month of January and into February, it is temporary. It's going to fall out. It's going to, thank goodness, until 2022. But hopefully, you know, getting through it every year, you find tools and that you can put in your toolbox so you can deal with this stuff better and better as life goes on.
I also think maybe journaling is a good thing. Just writing down, making a list of the things that you do love about yourself. I think that always helps.
100%. That is one thing. I'm the kind of person that will like start a journal. I'll journal for like a week and a half and then I'll stop. But whenever I like talk to someone, they're like, oh, you should journal. And I'm like, you're so right. I should journal.
It is hard to stick with it sometimes, but every time I'm the same way. I kind of in and out with it. But when I do feel so much better, you know, and it does help me achieve my goals throughout the week or the year or the month. I love journaling.
You know, if the purpose is for you to use it as a tool,
mm-hmm.
it's okay to I always looked at myself as like a failure at journaling because I could never stick to it, but maybe it's okay if you just journal when you just need to.
Right. Those harder times in life, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. But, yeah. So if someone is out there and you are struggling, find some other fun goals that you can stick to. You know, take up, I don't know, like, one of my friends or one of our girls that we work with, she does Duolingo every single day. And I was like, that would be a great goal to have, even if you're on it for 5 minutes to like learn a separate or a second language. I think that is such a great thing. And then like the reading or like not being on your phone at night for me definitely, but it can be fun things too, like
I
maybe like
started doing there's this guy, Mike Peel. He does these videos. They're like hip hop dance videos, and they're only like 40 minutes, but I feel so amazing when doing them. He teaches like different hip hop combinations. I look ridiculous, but I don't care because they are so fun, but they make me so happy. And when I'm done with them, I can conquer anything.
oh my
And they're
gosh,
so fun. Yeah.
that's
That's
amazing.
something that really like helps me like get like those endorphins going, but also like just I feel good about myself and I'm having fun doing it. So yeah,
Yeah,
I love that.
you need to send me those videos, that sounds like fun.
They're so fun. He comes out with a new one once a week, but I really wish he would do more because I wish he would pop them out real fast because I can't get enough of them. I follow along with him. We're like friends, but he doesn't know it, you know?
That is so great. Oh my gosh, that
Yeah.
is a fantastic idea.
Mm-hmm.
um and to like get those endorphins are huge, and if you can like laugh at yourself if you're doing something you're like I look funny or silly, like
Oh yeah,
laugh.
I'm popping and lacking, and you should see my dog is like, really? Not this again.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Wait, what kind of dog do you have?
He's like a hound mix. He has
I
like
love.
one little spot on his eye. He's so cute, but he's a rescue, so he's really scared of people, except for my boyfriend and I. So
Oh,
he has like safe spots in the house. He's sitting right here in his safe spot.
well, that's it. I think Penelope is on the floor on a blanket that I threw. She
He's
just
knocked out.
has to be where that I am.
Yes,
Um, love that dancing. Like, how can that's the thing, like certain things in life, like how can you be angry or sad if you're dancing? Like it's just
exactly. And
so awesome,
looking ridiculous at the same time.
right? For sure. Um, one other of my goals I want to mention, and it kind of has to do with CoEdition, is that I want to go through my closet and get rid of anything that does not make me feel good or that does not fit.
That is
Because
so smart.
clothes can be super triggering to people. Like if you hold on to clothes that are too small and you're like, I'm going to fit back into them, I'm going to get there. It's like, then that's always like hanging over your head. Fill your closet with stuff that makes you feel great right now. Like the best feeling is like after you've done laundry, you've washed all the clothes that you absolutely love that you've worn for like the last 2 weeks, and you're like, I have everything that I love right here. And like if you could have that every day and that be your entire closet, like what a dream come true.
Yeah.
So when I get back to New York, I am doing a major purge, and then see what holes I have, and then I'm definitely gonna go shopping on CoEdition and see what else I can find.
That's amazing. That's so
Yeah.
smart because I do have things from when I have different size in my closet, you know, and some of them I haven't worn forever. And it's like, I don't need this. It's not healthy, you know? So
Right.
yeah, I'm really with you on that one. That's so smart. I'm going to be on
Out,
that too.
yeah. Out with the old, in with the new, in with the new that makes you feel great and confident.
Another fashion like goal for me would be to also go out of my comfort zone with fashion, like things that I would think like, oh, I couldn't wear that, you know, really try it and see how I feel in it and like it and give it a go, you know?
Oh, I love that. I think that you had said that you had experienced that with a few of the videos that you did for us.
100%. I feel like CoEdition has really like let me like get out of my shell and like try things that I would have never tried. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this. So yeah, CoEdition has definitely helped me with that.
Oh my goodness, I absolutely love that. Maybe we should like start a campaign of women who buy things that are out of their comfort zone and then we can feature them all at once. That'd be super fun.
What a good idea.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to start that. If you guys think that's a good idea. Oh, we're getting a bunch of hearts right now. Woo woo.
Yes, yes.
let me go through these comments really quick
Yeah.
and see. Jamie, you are getting a lot of love.
Oh, well, I love
People
them
adore
too.
you. Jamie is like a celebrity because
Yeah.
she's on BoobTube. Speaking of cable, I was watching this game show the other night. I think it's like Ellen's new game show. They had like, I'm a millennial, but I think they had maybe millennials or Gen Zs on there, and they were asking them like older questions that they may not know. And one of them was like, what is the boob tube? And the guy, this girl, she was like, is it like a breast pump? And I was like, no, it's the TV. It's like, I don't, why am I saying that? Oh,
That's
because
so funny.
you are a little celebrity. Oh my goodness. You got to get a great group of friends around you that helps cheer you on, only positive folks.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is so important.
I think as you get older, it's really important to surround yourself with those friends that you trust, you know? And
yes.
You kind of wean out the friends that aren't good for you as you get older, you know?
Definitely. And then Amanda, the clearance budgetista, when we were talking about purging our closets, she says, yes, I do that regularly. Feels so good to give them to people who can love them. Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's so smart.
Yeah, because, you know, yeah. Thing is like, I like to donate my clothes, and I always feel like I would love to go thrifting, but there's never any plus stuff. So if I can contribute my old stuff that I've worn and want to pass on, like hopefully that'll help someone else who's going thrifting or going to the Goodwill or whatever.
100%.
Oh, Actively April says, and to know you, as in CoEdition, have a killer return policy always makes me feel better about truly something out of my comfort zone. Okay.
100%.
Yes. She says, I love giving away my clothes. I'm done back into my computer. I love giving my clothes back into my community. The Buy Nothing group loves me. Oh, yeah. Oh, there's a group for Buy Nothing. I also had contemplated that, like, should I have like 2021 be like a spending freeze? And then I was like, no, that will not bring me joy.
No, don't do things that don't bring you joy.
Yes. The clearance budgetista says, people think plus size fashion is rare or unaffordable, and my whole social media mission is to show others we can be cute and cost effective.
100%.
100%. And that is also one of CoEdition's goals, because we have such a wide range of price ranges, because there are definitely like brands out there that are crazy expensive, or brands that have like a full size range and they charge more for the plus sizes. I hate
that. Like, that is so rude. That drives me crazy.
That makes my blood
Mm-hmm.
boil. And we do not do that at CoEdition.
Mm-mm.
Thank you.
Yeah, when I first started working at CoEdition, I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. There are things that are so reasonable. Definitely things that are more like, you know, things that you save for. But I felt like there's so many options on a budget that I was like knocked out. I was like, this is crazy. But yeah, I love that.
So many sales all the time when I first started at working CoEdition, because one of my favorite things to do is shop for fashion. Yes. And I don't like to shop in stores. I like to shop online. And this is also like the doom scrolling at night. Like I'll be scrolling for hours, like looking at fashion. When I first started, I was like a kid in a candy store. I was like, oh my gosh. And when I first started, I was processing returns, and something would come in and I'd be like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. Why are they returning it?
You got personally offended.
Yes, I'd be like, I want this. Can I just like rebuy this right now and take it home? But yeah, it's a super fun place to work if anyone is wondering. Oh, another thing, Actively April says about companies charging higher for plus size. She said, amen, it's a tax on size. 100%. And that is not fair because we are all equal. Humans are not supposed to be the same size. We're different. That's just the human race.
That's the beauty of it, you know?
That is the beauty of it. Absolutely. Okay. Well, do you have any other anecdotes you want to leave us with, beautiful Jamie?
No, this has been so much fun. I mean, I loved this. This was so much fun. Thank you so much.
Of course. And we're going to keep doing these, right? We're going to do them. Well, so we're probably going to hit another one in January. And then I don't know if you knew this, but the month of February is Body Positivity Month.
I didn't know that. Yes. That's awesome.
Yeah, so exciting, right? So I think we're going to try to have an on the plus side chat every week in the month of February.
Yeah.
And we have a couple of different topics brewing, but anyone who is watching and has an idea or wants us to talk about something, let us know. Reach out. We will talk about anything because we got to have each other's backs. We're a community, right?
Exactly. That's what I love about this. We are a community and we need to support each other.
Absolutely. We got to keep the plus squad going.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Jamie. Before we go, we just want to let you also know that Jamie and I will be back together next Tuesday for a live try-on. We're doing New Year, New Wardrobe. Gotta love that, right? So we'll send out the details, but if you guys are around, come say hello. It's been so fun. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined, who's commented, who's engaged. We really, really appreciate it. This, again, is our first time doing On the Plus Side chat, and we're really, really excited. But we just wanted to find a way to connect with our followers and our customers because we're all in the same boat here. We just want to look fabulous, right?
Yes. Look our best.
Yes, look our best and feel our best. So if you have any other questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We can 100% keep this conversation going because we know that diet culture is not going away. If you want to share your goals with us, and if you want to have like a little accountability group, head to our Facebook. We have a community group just for like our CoEdition gals. Come on over and say hello. We would love for you to join that group. It's really, really fun. It's been a little bit inactive this past year, but we're going to get it going because I would love to keep discussions like this up for a while so we can all support each other.
Yeah.
So if we have nothing else to say, thank you so much, Jamie.
Thank you.
Every time I see your face, it just brightens my day.
I feel the same way about you. So
thank you. Okay, well, have an amazing rest of your night, everyone. We will talk soon, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Bye.